Yo, 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 yo. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Day 20, day 20, 20 days in. 20 days in, feeling better now than I did earlier, man. Love is powerful, man. Love with a partner, love with a friend, brother. Love is powerful, man. Self-love, being able to self-regulate, talking to people, right, who love you, who you love. That shit is powerful, man. Yeah. Earlier was tough. It was a tough start to the day, but we are here, man, pushing forward. Let me post this on my Facebook. Let people know that we're live there in case they want to tune in as well. We're here day 20, man. Day 20, live right now. Tonight's topic is economic. Can't spell economic empowerment. That's what we're talking about tonight. The money. Economics, empowerment, money, freedom. That's what we're talking about tonight. Economic empowerment. We're talking about motherfucking money, and we're talking about motherfucking freedom. That's what we're chatting about tonight. 20 days in, man. Listen, I can't even explain how brutal this shit is, how tough this shit is. Again, even though it's easy, again, you go past a certain time of not eating. It's easy to continue not eating, right? But it's still tough, man. It's tough to deal with all the emotions. It's tough to feel all of the things and not have your normal comfort, right? But this is why this whole thing that we're building is important, because it's not a comfortable, or rather, it's not a real beneficial habit to eat every time you get emotional, right? That's how a lot of people get overweight. That's how a lot of people become ill, because they just eat. They eat and they keep eating and they keep eating and they keep eating, and they never actually detox. They never actually fast, because there's always things that are going to get you emotional, right? And one thing we learned is that, or one thing we know rather, is that the closer you are to your goals, the closer you are to success, the tougher the journey gets, right? We know that. We know that through lived experience. We know that through the experience of others. We know that through reading, through listening, through just paying attention, right? No matter how good you are, no matter how great you are, quote unquote bad or negativity is always right there. And again, the closer you get, the greater you get, the tougher the fucking negative pull gets, the tougher, the harder the quote unquote bad things become, because it's testing you, right? Some people will say the devil's messing with you. I'm never going to give that power. I'm going to say it's God, it's the divine testing me. How much do I really want it, right? So emotional today, emotional last night. I thought about food, right? Again, I've been sending Kimona food videos like crazy, right? Like more food videos again in 2 weeks than I've sent her in 2 fucking years, right? And again, not because I'm hungry, but because I'm dealing with these heavy emotions and I'm thinking about food. I'm thinking about like just satisfying that craving that only comes from food, right? Like everything has its own satisfaction, right? Like sex, it satisfies us thinking its own way. You have sex and then you want to eat, right? Like, so food is has a unique power or unique effect on us, right? Mentally, emotionally. It does a lot for our brain. It does a lot for our bodies. But yeah, so today, day 20 was tough. It's a tough start. Dealt with a headache earlier. Dealt with some extremely low vibrations. Dealt with some low vibrational thoughts, right? Of just like kind of lashing out. Took a walk by the water with my bro, and I yelled at the water, right? I was just like, ah, right? I said a prayer. Um, yeah, we had our grief group, you know what I mean, here at the crib. Last grief group at this crib, right, where we sat and we just talked while they ate. They ate and we talked, and it was beautiful, right? But yeah, so in this moment, I feel a lot better. I feel stronger mentally. I feel stronger emotionally. I feel more grounded. I feel more connected to myself, and I feel like even though the monkey was a monkey wrench thrown in, that's gonna take effect in a couple of weeks. Um, I feel more ready for the rest of the journey. Right. Again, today's day 20. In 5 days, it'll be day freaking 25, which will also be our 600th episode. And once that hits, it's like downhill from there. Right. It's downhill from there. So we almost up the mountain 5 more days and be up the mountain. And then day 26, we start going down the mountain. Day 26, day 27. That means there's less days on a decline than it was on a climb up, right? And that's always a good thing, right? I remember being in prison and counting days, counting months, and then counting days, and like, yo, we got 700 more days, right? And then it's like 600 more days, and like 500. Then like we hit a halfway point, and then it's like, okay, it's all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here, right? And although there's still challenges that arise, there's still challenges that present themselves. Once you're downhill, it just, again, in your mind, when you can look at, like, I'm getting closer to the goal, I'm getting closer to, when it was prison, it was like to my release date. It's just a certain level of excitement overcomes you, right? A certain level of just like, I'm doing this shit. This shit is almost done, right? So some people don't like to look at the calendar in prison. I remember there were some people who didn't look at the calendar, right? They was like, I'm just here. And I was like, I'm looking at that fucking calendar. And there were some days I didn't look at it, right? And I was just engulfed in the day. And those days seemed to maybe go by faster. But there was days when I definitely looked at the calendar in the morning and at night, and I marked that shit. All right. And it was like, okay, this day starts, day 26 is starting. Okay, day 26 is ending, day 25, I want to wake up. And then again, once you get closer, you start to count. In prison, we'd be like, yo, we got,
hello, hi.
In prison, we got 50 days in the wake up, right? We got 70 days in the wake up, right? And all of that stuff. So, yeah, man, it's always good to be at the tail end of a journey, right? Especially when you know that, like, there's something that you're doing and you chose to do. Right. So yeah, we almost at the tail end. We almost at the tail end. We got 30 days in the wake up, right? Because we're gonna leave on the 51st day. So 30 days in the wake up left. Packing up the crib. We got some pickup coming tomorrow to take a bunch of clothes and games and my children's toys that we're donating. A bunch of shoes, gave away about 10 pair of sneakers I gave away, right? And yeah, we got a bunch of shit, man. A bunch of shit to give away. Some church is coming tomorrow to pick it up. And then it's just packing up my shit, then putting my shit in bags and getting my shit together so we can hit storage, right, this weekend. And yeah, man, it's very exciting times. But yeah, tonight, day 20, we're talking about economic empowerment. We are going to do a grounding session first, of course. So if you can, if you will, just be with me here in the moment, in the space, right? If you are laying down, lay down comfortably. If you are sitting, just get comfortable, man. Allow your feet to rest firmly on the floor or the ground beneath you, right? Allow your back to be straightened by the chair behind you or wherever you were sitting, right? And just allow yourself to breathe, right? Allow yourself to breathe. You can put your hands in your lap or by your side, whichever is more comfortable. You can allow your head to lean forward so that your chin is in your chest. Right? And you can allow your eyes to close ever so softly. And just fall into your body. Allow your body to sink into the space that you're currently occupying. And for this grounding, I want us to turn our attention to our mind and become aware of all of the mind chatter, all of the thoughts, all of the fears, all of the hopes for a better tomorrow, the regrets of a troubled yesterday, the angst, the pains, and the joys of a present today. Just become aware of all of your thoughts. And as your thoughts come, as your thoughts arise, know that you can observe them. You can watch them like a movie or your favorite show. You can smile with them. You can laugh with them. You can also cry with them. But do not hold them. Allow your thoughts to be free as a butterfly. Allow them to come and allow them to go. As your thoughts come and as they go, just be present with what arises. Be present within your body, knowing that your thoughts, your mind, a lot of times often impact your body, impact your emotions, how you feel. So be aware of that mind-body connection. And just breathe through whatever comes. Remembering that everything is transient, everything is transitory. The challenging times, the challenging thoughts, as well as the beautiful and great ones. Everything comes and everything goes. Everything rises and everything falls. So be aware of this phenomena and be attached to nothing. Remembering that you exist beyond your body. You will not always in this body. You will not always be in this body. However, you will always be your truest self, which is spirit, which is light plasma, which is God, universe, which is eternal. You can give yourself a neck roll. You can wiggle your toes, move your fingers, and come back to the space with a softened heart, with an open mind, with a strong, strong, strong spirit. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to open your eyes. I thank you for being with me in that space. And let's get to it, man. Let's talk about economic empowerment, something that is a very touchy topic, especially in the Black community, man. Economics, money. A lot of families, a lot of people don't want to talk about money. Money has been given a bad rap, right? It clearly has been used for bad things. Clearly, people have done bad things for money. I've done bad things for money. I tell a story all the time of, selling drugs in my neighborhood, poisoning my community, selling drugs to pregnant women. Definitely some stuff I wish I'd never done. Cannot go back. I can't ruminate over it, right? Like it just allow it to play. But definitely like a part of my history, right? Part of my history, part of my story, part of what I've done, which is why I take my responsibility to make not only my community better, but the world a better place. Because some of those pregnant women who I sold drugs to, they had those babies, right? And who knows what those babies are going through as they grew to be youth and children and youth and adults, right? This is about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, right? Who knows how them being born with drugs in their system, them being born addicted to drugs, how that impacted their life and their trajectory, right? So I do as much as I can. I push myself as hard as I can to just be a positive influence in my neighborhood and to pretty much rebuild what I helped destroy, right? And not just in my neighborhood, but in the world, because so many have done it and so many don't have the awareness to know how that impacted folks. So yeah, money has been used to do a lot of things. Money has been used like for a lot of bad things. People did a lot of bad things, a lot of inhumane things for money, right? A lot of degrading things, self-degrading things for money. But money is extremely important, right? If we want to lift up our community, if we want to change our situations, if we want to really be free, we need money. So tonight's theme specifically is economic empowerment, how we build power and not just survive. So what does it really mean to be free? Right? What does it really mean to be free? Is freedom, being free, just how you feel, or is it also how you live? Because truth be told, you can be aware, you can be disciplined, you can be healing, you can be all of those things. You can be healed. But if you don't have economic power, you are still limited to a degree, right? You cannot determine where your children go to school. You cannot determine where you live and how you live. You cannot determine a lot of things, right? So that's what we're talking about tonight. Why economic empowerment matters. So we get to the truth of it, the root, right? The real fucking deal about money and power. Money is not everything. That's a fact. It's not everything, but it absolutely affects everything. In this paradigm, in this structure, the world that we currently live in, right now, mind you, I'm someone who denounced money for a long time, right? When I came out of prison, first year and a half, I was back in the streets, made a lot more money. And then 2008, early November, late October 2008, I said, I ain't doing this shit no more. I ain't poisoning my community. I'm not risking my life for my freedom. And I actually want to see what happens if I take the same energy that I got that I'm putting into the streets and putting into something positive. I want to see what the fuck could happen, right? So like, I denounced money. I was like, you know what? We don't need money because I realized that like my whole life was built on how much money I had, right? The girls, the clothing, the shopping, the food, the travel, whatever. I was able to at times do whatever I wanted. And it's crazy because even when I had a lot of money, some shit I just didn't do. I didn't travel a whole lot. I didn't travel far. Right? I went to Connecticut. I went to Maryland. And I think I went to Atlanta once, right? Twice before like actually changing my life. Right? See family. But I didn't do much. I was stuck in the hood. So I talk about this like being in prison is not just a physical prison. Yes, you need to be physically free, but mentally free. So I had financial freedom where I was able to do whatever I wanted, but mentally I was stuck in that fucking 6 block radius. I just want to get money, get girls, and shop, and gamble, and drink, and smoke, and live that life. And as fast as it came in, as fast as it goes. So some days I would lose 10, 12, 13, I think there was almost like $17,000. Like in front of my house in Jamaica. A lot of fucking money. Whole crowd gambling, bet $500, bet $1,500 on a side bet that I form better. Crazy fucking shit, right? So I had to denounce money, find out who I am, right, without money. So it's not everything, but it absolutely impacts everything, right? It impacts where you live. It impacts what you eat, right? Although being vegan is not more expensive, right? People say, oh, veganism is so expensive. It's not more expensive. It's actually cheaper. Right? When you eat fucking plants and you buy your food and you cook it at home, it's actually cheaper. Clearly, if you go to a vegan restaurant, you're going to pay more for a vegan burger and motherfucking fries and sauce than at a regular spot for the most part. But if you fucking buy some chickpeas, buy some fucking lentils, buy some fucking different type of things, you can make your own fucking burgers at home. Even if you buy the fucking Morning Star, right? It's gonna be cheaper than the other shit. Anyway, it impacts where you live. It impacts what you eat. It impacts your access to resources. Yes, there are free resources in a city like New York, but a lot of shit costs. And even if it may not cost a lot, it costs. After school programs, right? Tennis programs, basketball leagues, right? Certain things cost to get your children in for you to be part of, to go swimming at fucking the YMCA. It costs to get a membership, right? Again, although it may not be so expensive, it still is a price to it. So money affects everything. It affects relationships. Do you know how many relationships, marriages have fallen apart because of money disputes, right? Whether not enough money, right, and that causing other stress, right, or like somebody's irresponsible with the money and it's causing stress. I know in my former marriage, money was a thing, right? Money was an absolute thing in my former marriage, and because I was not making enough money consistently, it created even more friction than was already there, right? Because now I'm not able to pay all the bills, and now this thing comes up, and that comes up, and now that's added stress. So economic power creates options, and without economic power, freedom is incomplete. You can't be truly free. You can be mentally free, emotionally free, spiritually free. You can have the time freedom, but if you do not have the economic empowerment, your freedom is incomplete. You cannot do all of the things you want to do. Send your children to the best schools, travel the world, and eat the best foods, and just have the best experiences in life. Incomplete, right? So what is the problem? A lot of people are stuck in survival mode. A lot of people are stuck in fucking survival mode. They're working, they're paying bills, but they're repeating the fucking cycle. They never really get ahead. So many people never actually get ahead. Because survival doesn't create freedom. Survival does not create freedom. What it does, it just maintains existence. So you're a survivor. That's what we say. There's a difference between existing and living. Big difference between existing. Are you just existing or are you living? Are you surviving or are you thriving? And most people on the planet are just surviving. They're not thriving, right? And so what does economic power, what does economic empowerment really mean? Again, it's not just about making money. That's part of it. But it's about ownership. Do you own something? It's about control. It's about sustainability. And it's about growth, right? It's about legacy. It's about fucking legacy. Yes, when a lot of people talk about breaking generational curses, they talk mainly about money. And again, money is important. But there's so many other things. The generational poverty of the mind, right? The generational doubt, the generational illness. Doubt meaning that like nobody believes in their dreams. People have the great ideas, they have the dreams, but everybody doubts themselves. And because they doubt themselves, they doubt you, right? So economic empowerment, growth, sustainability. How are we growing? right? It's about building some shit that works for you. What works for you? How does it work for you, right? And that's what we're striving to build. We're gonna get into that later. But it means you're not just earning, right? Anybody can earn a check. Anybody can earn a check. Go work for somebody, earn a check. Cool. Again, it matters, right? But empowerment means that you are building something. You're building something right now to lead somewhere, right? And what I'm building right now and everything that I've been building for the last fucking 18, 19 years has been to lead towards freedom, complete freedom for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community, for my children, right? That's what I'm building towards, complete and total freedom, be able to go where we want, live where we want, eat what we want, right? Like be able to, and we'll get into it, right? Because it's not just about self, it's about like impacting others. So there are levels of economic growth, right? This, again, survival, right? When you're working just to get by, just to get by. Sometimes you're there, sometimes you got to be there. It's stability, covering your needs consistently. We can consistently cover all the needs that you have, food, health, all the needs that you have, you're consistently covering them. Then there's growth. Growth is when you are saving, when you're investing, and you are expanding, you're growing. And then it's ownership. You're owning assets, homes, businesses, systems, right? You own systems. And then that's when impact comes into play. When you can fucking create opportunities for others. That's where impact comes into play. Create opportunities for others. When you just surviving a lot of times, like it's hard to create impact for other people because like you only worry about survival. And even when you're stable, like, yo, I ain't even got no wiggle room. Like I'm stable, but like I can't even wiggle. So like I can't even give to this organization or give to this cause or help this person in this way. Even if it's a family member, like I can't even really do nothing. Like I'm fucking stuck. I'm in a bind. And you hear that all the time. Yo, I'm in a bind, right? So the goal is not just to survive. It's to build and then fucking multiply that shit. Exponential growth, right? Grow that shit exponentially, compound interest, compound that shit so that like it becomes massive, right? And now it connects to everything that we've talked about so far. For 19 days, we've been talking about all of the different things: trauma in the brain, freaking community healing spaces, healing communities. We've been talking about the future of education. We've been talking about how freaking immersive tech helps people grow. We've been talking about Miss Juicy, the whole vibe. We got into continuum, the neural soul liberation method. This shit ties down. It ties to everything. Because discipline, consistency with money, being disciplined, being consistent with the money. Not that you're earning, but what you're doing with it. I read somewhere it was like, when you get what you pray for, also pray for the discipline to maintain it, right? And that's something that I haven't always been, right? I was in the streets, made a lot of money, was not disciplined with that shit. And I tell the story, and it always fucks me up, kind of. 2004, I go to jail. I'm gambling, crazy, and Google goes public. Google went public, I think, at first at $83 a share. At one point, it went down to like $48 a share. You had to buy, I think, like 100 shares. I would have bought $10,000 worth of Google if I knew, if I had the intelligence, right? If I had the intelligence. So very inconsistent with my money, right? But then identity, seeing yourself as a builder, environment, extremely important as it relates to economic empowerment. Being around growth-minded people, your community. Who are you hanging around? They say if you fucking hang in the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a fucking haircut. You hang around 9 people that's broke, you'll eventually be the 10th one. Even if you got a lot of money, you hang around them longer fucking enough, you'll be the 10th broke one, the 10th one without money, right? Community, supporting each other economically, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, right? How are we supporting each other economically? Are we putting our money together? Are we supporting each other's businesses? Right? Are we shopping with each other? Are we extremely important? So this economic empowerment piece is part of this fucking system we talk about. It's a specific part of the whole vibe. Financial health. How is your financial health? The whole vibe is physical, is emotional, is mental, is social, is spiritual, and it's fucking financial. How is your financial health? So this economic empowerment piece is part of the whole fucking system, right? Because we can't just grow individually. We can't. Not, especially not this. I mean, we shouldn't want to, right? But we really can't, because you grow individually, it's like, but we have to grow collectively. That's the message that we push. We have to grow collectively. Together we rise. That is the motto. Together we thrive. That is the motto. Together we rise and together we thrive. Simple as that. Together, togetherness. So what happens when we support each other's businesses? What happens when we invest in each other? What happens when we build together? That's how communities rise, not just individuals. You see so many individuals become wealthy, make a lot of fucking money. You see it in artists and entertainers and so many different types of people. They make a lot of fucking money, right? They make a lot of money, but their community stays the same. They leave a lot of times. They make money, they leave. But if we could rise as a community, if we could generate income collectively, we could lift our whole neighborhood up. And that's been one of my commitments to Queensbridge specifically, right? Is to not always live in the hood. No. Somebody said that in the right thing with Prodigy. No matter how much good I get, I'm staying in the projects. And that's has a level of nobility and honor to it. But it also, I don't think it's the smartest thing. And I don't have a lot of money, but I move still close, right? And I want to live in this area long term, right? Again, places, homes, other places, but I would love to have a home close to Queensbridge. Even when I move my mom's out, I still want to have a place close to the neighborhood, right? Because this is where I want to do most of my work at. So yeah, that's how communities rise, right? And so this is part of what we're building. It's not just personal growth. It's not just growing personally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, getting stronger physically. It's economic growth, extremely important part of what we are building here with the World Healing System, right? Spaces where people can learn, where people can build, people can collaborate, and where people can create opportunities for self and each other, right? Because there's always opportunities out there. And like, there's always ideas. We're always having ideas. And a lot of times you just need other people. And it's not always that you need money from other people. You need to bounce your ideas, and together, collaborating, right, through collaboration, we can create those economic opportunities for ourselves, each other, for our family, our children, right? Kimona's talking about with Miss Juicy to get the juice truck, putting her sons to work, putting my mom's to work, right? Like giving people opportunities. That's what this shit is about. How do we create opportunity? How do we use our knowledge? How do we use our passions? How do we use our ideas? How do we use our skills, our talents, our dreams, our goals, our fucking resources to create opportunities for other people that we love, other people in the world generally, right? It could be because there could be some opportunity that you create somebody you don't even fucking know, right? You got a college student or an adult who's, let's say, you got a 64-year-old adult, right? A grandmother or a grandfather or someone who never had children, but they're great in a specific area, or they're great with children, right? And you create a daycare. They could work at your daycare, right? They could watch the children. There's mad different opportunities you can create for people. Again, those close to you and those you don't even know. And so this matters because if we get this shit right, if we get this shit right, we built the system the way it's supposed to be built, and we push and we get our fucking, as the elders would say, our ducks in the fucking row, right? We change generational patterns, we change access to opportunity, and we change what's possible for the next generation. If economic empowerment is how you turn growth, general growth, personal growth into fucking legacy. And know that I remember thinking about if when I was younger, all right, and clearly, not clearly, but I had some mental health challenges, right? Some emotional health shit. But outside of that, if when I was younger, I would have had, like, my family would have had real economic empowerment and real financial freedom, what would have been possible for me? I wanted to make movies young, right? I wanted to make movies young, write books young, and do certain things as a young child. Me and my friend Kyle wrote a movie, a 60-page script at 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, wrote 60 pages, dedicated every night. My house in Jamaica. He lived in Queensbridge, but he would come to my house in Jamaica. My man James Moody, who's now Heru Shango, would drive us from our program, drive us to Jamaica. He would spend the night, and we would go to school together the next morning, right? Like, that was real fucking life. What would have been possible if we would have had the economics where our parents would have been able to say, you know what, you're going to go to school over here. You guys are into film. You're going to this program. You're going to that program. This is what you're going to do. What would have been possible? And now what's possible now for the next generation? These young people got brilliant ideas, beautiful ideas. They want to do incredible things. But a lot of times their parents don't have the money. Their community doesn't have the fucking money. They're not economically empowered to be able to afford these things. Because again, we got to keep it real. Some shit costs fucking money. The shit has a cost to it, right? And so to my audience, those who are tuned in, let me ask, Where are you right now on this scale? Survival, stability, growth, ownership, and impact. And what's crazy is that you could be in multiple places at the same time, right? Because right this moment, I was in growth spot a while ago, but now I'm in survival economically, right? I'm in survival and I'm making impact, right? But if it's just about economics, I'm in survival. I'm not able to create opportunities for other people right now, money opportunities. I have created some money opportunities, right? I have, because of my connections, because of my work, have been able to create jobs for a few different people, right? A few different times in different capacities. $1,000 jobs, one-off moving shit, film shit, speaking shit, right? I've been able to do that, right? The fucking vegan festival opportunities for other people, right? Some people got some long-term sustainable shit, right? But right now, in terms of economics, I'm in survival. I'm not stable right now. All right. At this point, right now, I don't have income coming in. A lot of income going out, but not even a lot, but income going out. But we're gonna get back to the income coming in May, June. We're gonna make a lot of money. I see it, I feel it, right? We get this coaching shit together. We're gonna push this shit, and the shit's gonna work, right? And then other opportunities are coming back. I have to take a break from some shit. It's gonna come back and bring some more income in. But that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Where are you right now? Are you in survival mode? Are you stable? Are you growing? Do you have ownership? Right? Do you have ownership? And are you making an impact right now with the resources that you have? Take a moment, keep it real, answer. Right? Man, I hit my son up earlier. He hit me back. All right, my boy hit me back playing games. My boy is playing games. Right? But that's really my boy though, man. That is really my boy, and yeah, he's growing up, man. Freaking cell phone, right? Doing all of the things. Starhawk said survival. That's real. Thank you for being honest. Very real. All right, I'm right there with you, family. I'm right there with you. And again, together, collaborating. I'm always a fan, right? I would tell people, I got some friends who are really great. Specifically, I want to say podcasts. I got a friend who's really great setting up podcasts, right? Really great with audio, with video, and with plan and strategy. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm a powerhouse, right? Like, I talk to people. I have engaging conversations. I think that now he charges for a service, right? But I think we could collaborate, right? Because even if I pay you $500 an episode, right? Like we do 10 episodes, you make $5K off me, right? Cool. We did 10 episodes. I paid you $500 an episode. You got $5,000 for help for creating a space for me to do this podcast, right? If we fucking collaborate, right? You lend your skills, right? I'm gonna go figure out how to get the sponsorships. We're gonna get some fucking money. We can make $50,000, right? In those 10 episodes, all right? But again, can't force anybody to think beyond where they are, and that's okay, right? But collaboration, I'm a firm believer that collaboration is key. Community over fucking competition. If we work together, especially if like the ideas mesh, like again, like me, like I want to do a talk show, do a podcast. He knows all about setting that shit up and doing that shit. Perfect lighting, and he's really great at all of that shit. Bro, help me. Like, let's work together, but we're in survival because he's also in survival, right? So it's like if we both in survival, motherfucker. Why are you trying to get all the money from me? Let's work together and get the money from the other place. Because we could go with the right lighting, like even this live stream. I guarantee if we had right lighting, right setting, right audio, it would hit differently. It will hit 100% differently, right? But me, as just the pure passion, I haven't taken the time to really master all of that other shit that goes into it. I'm just gonna talk until like I can't fucking talk no more. And I'm not gonna get burnt out because like I got my Energizer fucking bunny, right? But yeah, man, thank you for that. KK said I'm just out of survival mode into stable, growing, and I have ownership. Fire. Just out of survival into stable, growing, and you have ownership. You do have ownership. You absolutely do have ownership. And I'm so proud of you. And thank you for being honest and sharing that. Right. So the challenge, right, is always a challenge. It's always a challenge. Before tomorrow, take one step towards growth. Whether that's learning something about money, whether that's starting something small, whether that's supporting someone else's business, or that's just thinking differently about income, thinking differently about income, right? And that's something that I'm constantly trying to think differently about income, even like passive income. I'm 80s baby, raised in the 90s. My father was an entrepreneur, but he was a hands-on entrepreneur, right? No real investments that I know of. Had a cleaning company. He was there, so he was able to pay some people, right, to do jobs when he wasn't there. A lot of people had like 111, 112 contracts, so he was able to pay people, but he still had to he was the person doing everything, right, setting it up, doing all this, doing all of that. So now that's been me, right? Artist, I need to do it. I need to be hands-on. I want to, and I am committed to figuring out a way where I can generate some income without being present. And I've tried the multi-level marketing shit, and it just didn't work for me, right? Because I'm also a Pisces, and sometimes I don't feel like talking to people, and I'm not the person to like hype you up. I'm not that motivation person, get you hype to buy. That's not. I'm gonna give it to you real, take it or fucking leave it. It works for me in the streets, and it's worked for me in to some level, right? It's gonna work more, right? I'm not gonna hype. So I remember at 17 years old, I was doing Cutco, selling knives, right? I did the knives thing. I went and I made a couple of sales, but I never made it to the top. Why? Because I'm like, right? Like, it's not what I don't want to be talking to people about sales all day, right? Especially not like that, right? Not like and the people I knew, right? And I was 17, I was still a little shy, so I didn't do as much prospecting as I could have, right? But like, yeah, I don't like, I know you ain't gonna buy these fucking $1,000 knives, right? Like, come on, right? And you're not, so you're taking me in, but you're not buying that shit, right? All good. 2015, 2016, I did World Ventures, right? Wish You Were Here, the travel agency. I seen people blow up. I seen people it worked for. It didn't work for me, right? Because like I'm in survival mode and I'm selling vacation shit that I ain't even taking, right? At the point, right? So yeah, it wasn't for me. But we're continuing. I'm excited because once we get our motherfucking product, that's one thing I could sell like real physical product, right? Not a dream, not like I guess a lifestyle, right? Is what they were selling with World Ventures. It just didn't work for me, right? I hit a certain level and it was like cool, and then it was like it just tanked out. Also, like family shit was going on at that time, right? Relationship shit started happening. But yeah, think differently about income. And that's what I'm thinking. More passive. How can I create passive income? Right? How can I create some shit that can generate money in my sleep? All right. So take one step before tomorrow, and what's the step you're going to take? Right. But drop it in the comments if you know the step that you're going to take towards economic empowerment. And our closing truth: we all deserve more than just to survive. We deserve to build, and we deserve to thrive. Together we fucking thrive. That's the whole vibe. Oh, that's a couple bars, right? But yeah, together we thrive, man. I believe wholeheartedly in our collective work and our ability to rise up together. I got an idea, you got an idea, you got an idea. And not just different ideas, but can we come together under one idea, right? Can one person have an idea and everybody for 3 months, for fucking 12 weeks, can everybody pour into that person's idea? Right? And then we switch. Cool, we get it off the ground, we get it to a certain level, and then cool, we move on to the next person. Can we do that? I haven't really tried it, like specifically. I had a brother who used to try it and it just wouldn't work. Right? It's like susus. You do a susu, a lot of times, too often I've seen people get their cut and they out. It was like, come on, like how are we ever gonna build long fucking term for all of us? Right? So we gotta get out of that survival mode, that what's in it for me, and how do we build collectively? We have to begin to think more humane, more on a humanity level, more on a community level, communal level, right? But I believe it's possible. I believe it's extremely possible, and that's what I'm pushing for, and that's what I'm building towards, man. But listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow's topic is health justice. No, not health justice. Food justice. Tomorrow is day 21. Food justice and health equity. That's tomorrow, day 21, Friday. We'll be right back here, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube Live. Tell a friend, please. I would appreciate you share it. If you're getting anything from these live streams, tell a friend. Share the flyer, daily live streams, right? Tell a friend, and let's really build this thing, man. We got 30 days left. 30 days left, and it's a wrap. And we'll see where we go from there with the nightly streams, right? May change platforms, right? I like nightly streams. May change platforms. YouTube is not bringing. YouTube doesn't really like push out to like just random people, right? Where like TikTok does. Like IG can do that sometimes as well. Easier to share on IG and Facebook. Well, my IG live is restricted to next year. that shit still baffles me. But that's our stream. Economic empowerment extremely important, not just for you as an individual, but for your family, for your community, and in order to make the impact that you really want to make in the world, to build the housing, to create the businesses, to create world peace, we need money. So let's figure that shit out together. Let's go get the money. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and see you tomorrow, man. Day 20 is a wrap. Peace.